Good morning, all. I was just wanting to make one statement about one of the initiatives on the ballot, and that is water. And as Ms. Houston just said, I am a commissioner in the Skyway area, and this is an electable position I run every 6 years. My term expires in 2011, so I need to run again. But I want to tell you about one thing. Bottled water is a big business for somebody getting rich at no taxes. And the caveat I'd like to give you is, you go into the store, you buy a case of bottled water, 24 bottles, 8 ounces, for $3.98, say. You can, that's just a little over 100 ounces of water. You can turn on your faucet, run 1,000 gallons of water for $5 or less, and it's not taxed. But the store and the businessman is making money on your bottled water, and that's another CEO. So get rid of it. I recommend that we pass that tax on bottled water. Don't let them roll it back. It's an expense that we don't need. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Clark. And I really want to say thanks to the people who really made this possible, and that's you. This event is just a prelude to really what the One Nation working together is all about. We do not, the people in the capital of nations, capital today, they're not there merely for that one particular event. You're not here for just one single event. This is a movement. This is a movement. One Nation working together is a movement. What we have to do is, you heard all of these speakers say today, we have to be rejuvenated. You know, we had this big party in 2008 when we elected the first African-American president in the history of this country. We had this great outpouring of people. We celebrated, and they say that we went on a party for 2 years. And we wake up today and we find ourselves with a tremendous hangover. That's what they're saying. They're too hungover to be re-energized. But we have to keep in mind that no matter what you think about the people who are now in Congress with that D behind their name, no matter what you think about the president, if you think about the alternative, a lot of us are saying that we're going to vote, but they're saying that we're not going to vote, we're going to go to sleep, that we're going to just set this one out. If you set this one out, it's equivalent to a vote for the opposition. And we can't afford that. You've heard the president say that they're the guys who drove the bus into the ditch. The same guys who drove the bus into the ditch are the ones that you want to put them back in power, put them back on the road? We don't want to do that. You don't want them back. You don't want 8 more years. I don't think this country can afford 8 more years of that prior administration. I don't believe we can do it. And the opposition has made a strategy out of just saying no. Is this an effective strategy? Nobody knows. But if we don't go to the polls on November the 2nd, that strategy will have worked. I don't believe saying no is an efficient strategy. I don't think in the history of our mankind, in my day and time, I don't think there's ever been somebody who just said no to everything that's presented before them. I can't see that is any kind of success. The outcome, we got to make it the worst possible outcome possible for that group of people who are just saying no in Congress. There are bills that have been passed at the House that have stagnated in the Senate. They just won't do anything about them. Look at all the things that this administration has accomplished. When we look back, you hear so many negative things until you just cannot hear the voices of those who are saying, but look, we got this health care bill. We got a jobs bill. We got a lot of things done in this Congress with this administration. But the people who are just saying, just say no, has really blocked a lot of good legislation. And what we've got to do is we've got to pick ourselves up from this so-called hangover that they say that we're in, pick ourselves up and go back to the polls on November the 2nd. If you haven't already done so, I'm going to ask you, everybody here is on a computer. I can't imagine somebody in America in year 2010 who are not computer literate. But if you go on the internet and you address onenationworkingtogether.org, how many of you been there? Let's see the hand. You've all been on that website. How many of you have registered on that website? Okay, that's a very few of you, about 1/10 of the ones who say that they've been on there. I want you to go back to that website and I want you to sign up on One Nation Working Together. This is a movement, folks. This is a movement, and we're going to come back locally to you again. And we're going to be meeting with you, and we're going to be helping the people who are out there, the labor unions, all of the ethnic groups, all of the clergy. We're going to be in the trenches, and we're going to be working this One Nation Working Together movement right up until November the 2nd. How many of you want to do that? And the sad part about all of this is we cannot afford not to do that unless we want to find ourselves deeper in the ditch that's been dug for us. So let's go out of here, let's go forward from this gathering with one thing in mind. Come November the 2nd, we're going to get at least five people to sign up. Let's see it again, baby. All right, I've been reminded that we don't want to stop at November the 2nd, but first thing first, Maria Wyatt had just reminded me that we want to go all the way to 212, and we want to do that. How about that? 212. Sounds good. Sounds good. That's the spirit. So let's go forth from this place with our minds clear, our hearts pure, with one thing in mind, and that is to remain active in One Nation Working Together.